Hello. So we're gonna break down UFC 314, bottom to the top, end of the card is the last thing. If you just want to see my picks for that, just skip to the end. I did that when I was watching Lucas Tracy when I was a casual. Like fuck the prelims. Let's see the real shit. I understand you. But for those who want to stay, I'm gonna blow through all the prelims less than a minute per fight. Right? Because I think I have a lot of analysis. You don't need to hear it all. You don't need to hear all my ramblings. Some of you guys just want to know. I'll try to give you that. But in the last two cards, 10 and 2 in Mexico. Watch that video. Don't say, well, tell me I didn't cook. Tell me I didn't pop off. Tell me. Because even like watch my Ursay versus Moreno comp. I was like, hey, everyone says he's gonna wrestle. That shit ain't happening. He's gonna strike, but he's too slow. I'm too nice. I'm just simply too nice. 93 on the last card. I didn't make a video because I was fucking lazy and I was like, no one's gonna watch this shit. Let's just save it for 314. But I'm here now. So if you find what I'm saying interesting, like or comment. We got a good amount of views for my channel in that last video, but nobody liked or commented or subbed. So please like or comment or sub. Help me in the algorithm. It'll help educate the uneducated masses. But now, it's time to get started. Nora Cornell versus Haley Cohen. Watch this. World's fastest women's bantamweight breakdown. Haley Cohen, hot. 2 fights in the last 2 years. One of them's a loss. Sorry, last 3 years. One of them's a split. Nora Cornell fought pretty good comp. Lost recently against a ranked woman. Nora Cornell should win, but it's a women's bantamweight. You never know. Money's on Nora, but don't throw your life savings. Nora Cornell pick. Trayshawn Gore versus Marco Tulio. Marco Tulio, very, very good. Maybe could get ranked one day. Trayshawn Gore, mid. Trayshawn Gore, really good guillotine wrestler. There's always a threat. Like until we see you beat a wrestler, you never know. And Marco Tulio looks and he trains in the way that you think he should be able to pack up Trayshawn Gore, probably round 1, maybe round 2. And he's got really good wins against like Yusri Belgauri. So he's the pick. I don't hate the value. Yeah, he's the pick. Marco Tulio, probably KO. But watch out he could get wrestle fucked. If he defends the first takedown in the fight where Trayshawn doesn't even shoot a takedown, it will be a Tulio win. Sumiderici versus Mitch Raposo. Mitch Raposo, the UFC really like him. They keep giving him chances. He keeps losing. Sumiderici was ranked, didn't fight for fuck all reasons for years. He fought like once every year and a half for a while. Last time out though, I thought he'd beat Charles Johnson. I don't think Mitch Raposo will be able to get inside on Sumiderici. I think if he tries to fight Sumiderici, I don't think he'll be able to get inside. I don't think he'll be able to take him down, so I think he will be ineffective. And if he does get Sumiderici down, I don't think he has a submission game to really threaten Sumiderici. And Sumiderici, I wouldn't be shocked if we even saw him do something. Mitch Raposo also is from New England Cartel. They're like the anti-fighting nerds, where everyone's like, the fighting nerds are super good. The New England Cartel are like, wow, those guys are shit. Right? Okay, so Dricus Dumas versus Michelle Olishishik. I've actually recorded this video multiple times and I keep fucking up. Like, one time I just didn't record until the end of the video. I didn't realize. And one time I realized my audio, I had it super loud. So it would have like broken your earphones. So I had to re-record this twice now. But I spent a lot of time talking about Dricus Dumas. And, I'm tired of it. I'm breaking him down quick. Everyone looks at him, says, wow, that guy's a thug. No racial remarking intended. So they think he's going to strike, and you think he's a knockout artist. His ass is actually a very good wrestler, although he doesn't understand it very well. And I mean it. Like, he asks his corner what to do, and then he does it, though. And he gets it very intuitively. Watch his fight versus Cody Brundage. Brundage is a college wrestler. It's Dricus Dumas, makes him look like, it's like Khabib versus Conor. Like that, level of dominance in the wrestling. It's crazy. And he's fighting Michelle Olishishik. Olishishik, good boxer, come forward. His ass can't wrestle. So if people start talking about wrestling, tell them to kill themselves. No bullshit. He should beat Cedricus. Cedricus, I don't think will be able to handle the inside boxing Michelle. But Michelle, before his last fight, said that he was going to retire and that he was stupid and that he was bad and that the sport's bad and that he got set up to lose against Charbullet. So he should be the pick, but there's a chance he will lose because Cedricus gets a little better, but also he just might not be in the game anymore. His brother's good. He might probably going to make it to the UFC, but you gotta question sometimes if Michelle still has it. Darren Elkins versus Julian Rosa. Darren Elkins, I thought his fight versus Daniel Pineda was bad because I think Daniel Pineda's bad. He's 40. Julian Rosa, he's pretty good, although he gets a lot of defensive submissions, which are hard to account for sometimes. I think Julian Rosa should win either by sub or KO. Darren Elkins, he's 40 and he moves like it. That fall off hits any day now. Arosa's not young, but he's not that old, and he's good. He's on a great run. He's beat a lot of really incredible fighters in his recent UFC run. Like I think he's like 8-4 or something crazy. Like he had like a couple runs in the UFC where he just was a bum, but recently he's turned it around very well. He should be Darren Elkins. I think the line is a little wide because there is a chance where Darren Elkins can kind of just stay safe and hold him down and grind him. No homo. But Julian Rosa probably should win. Chase Hooper versus Jim Miller. Chase Hooper, he's younger, better striker, insane grappler. Jim Miller, I just think he's old. He's got a good hands and he's got some decent submissions, but Chase Hooper, other than fucking power in the hands, is better in everything. Chase Hooper's kind of getting the Raul Rosas treatment right now, where they're fairly active and they're young, so the UFC doesn't want to push them up too fast and make them lose again, when they can kind of build their brand, give them some wins, give them some credible names, and slow roll them into a way they get to a top 15 fight when Chase Hooper's like 27, right? So he'll win, probably sub, probably first round. If not first round, second round. Maybe sleeper option is a KO. But Chase Hooper's been looking really good. Yan Xiaonan versus Verna. Now, wow, only at 6 minutes? Pff, I'm killing it. Yan Xiaonan, she's got a pretty good get-up game and defensive grappling game now. Like, although she low-key got subbed by Zhang Weili, she got back up. And against Tabitha Ricci, great showing. Verna Jandaroba, incredible grappler. At women's strawweight, you actually have quite a few incredible grapplers, but Verna, probably second to Zhang Weili in terms of just the pure grappling. I just don't think Verna will be able to get Yan Xiaonan down and hold her down well enough. I think Yan Xiaonan is just strong. I really liked what I've seen from her recently. Even in her loss to Zhang Weili, looked like she did pretty well. Multiple knockdowns. I think Yan Xiaonan will be able to keep this on the feet well enough, and when it is on the feet, I think that Verna could even get KO'd, right? So Yan Xiaonan is my pick. Not that confident though, but she's a real dog, and I think that she'll beat Verna. I think Verna, she's getting a little too much hype on her because how she did Lemos, but I don't think highly of Lemos. And Lemos also looked okay until the sub. Like, she got caught up in a scramble, and I think sometimes people overrate that. Danny gave her Sean Woodson. This is main event for prelims. There's ranking implications. I'm going to slow down a little bit. Danny Gay, he's good. He's been robbed a couple times, like against Bryce Mitchell. Probably should have won that fight. But he's got good boxing, really good power. He's a dog. He's gritty, and he can even grapple a bit. Sean Woodson, he's built like the robot from Futurama. You know what I mean? Bigger body, limbs that, like, if he extended all his limbs, or like, I don't know, the Elastic Man. He's 6'2", 78-inch reach, but he's not even like a weight bully. Sean Woodson, in the fight where they fight at their best levels, should win. Right? He should. He has the boxing. He has the range, and he knows how to use it. But he loves a split decision. Split decisions with Charles Jourdain and Alex Caceres. Danny Gay is way better than those two, right? But Sean Woodson should win, but I think Danny Gay, and you know what? I've actually gone against this pick before by other recordings, but I'm going to put my fucking foot down. I think Danny Gay can work inside there, can get inside, and have bigger moments. Right? Sean Woodson might actually be the better fighter on the night of the fight, but I think Danny Gay can kind of just look better. Like, he'll have the better looking moments. So when Danny Gay comes out of those 3 rounds, I think he'll look better for 2 of them, and I think he'll win the fight. So dog pick, Danny Gay. I like Sean Woodson. I don't even hate a Sean Woodson pick. The money's been coming in on Sean Woodson. And if they fight at their best levels, Sean Woodson should win. But I think Sean Woodson fights like a bitch. He KO'd Padilla, but that was a step down. Like, Sean Woodson should have been ranked a year ago. I think this is a comeback moment for Danny Gay. Like he dropped Lerone Murphy, brought it close with Emmett, should have beat Bryce. Good performance against Diego Lopes, although I don't rate it that highly. I think he actually had a low-key advantage. I think, though, against Sean Woodson, I don't think he's going to get dropped or anything, but I think that Sean Woodson just kind of, I just don't think highly of him. Like, I think that he just won't have the moments. I think he'll look lame. I think he just won't hurt Danny Ige, and I think you need to do that to beat him. Okay, Nikita Krylov versus Dominic Reyes. Dominic Reyes, we all know his story. His losses, though, like when he got KO'd a bunch, all very good opponents except for Ryan Spann. Krylov's been out 2 years with injury. I'm going to be picking Krylov here because I think that Dominic Reyes is bad now. Like, if you watch his Anthony Smith fight, most recent, right? Smith, up until the moment he doesn't give a fuck anymore, which is like really early on, surprisingly. Like when he's throwing his jabs up, they're like rocking Reyes a bit. Like his head is like bopping back. And when people's heads bop back like that, that tells me they're chinny, right? Like that's like the sign of, oh, that shot will be coming any second now, that you're gonna get dropped. And I think Krylov will probably be able to get him out like that. Um, the line is pretty wide. If it widens out further, it's gonna be unplayable. Uh, Krylov is my pick though. I just don't rate Dominic Reyes anymore. I think his chin is still glass. I am concerned with the 2-year layoff, but Dominic Reyes, I don't think he's that. I don't think he's it anymore. Yair Rodriguez versus Patricio Pitbull. The UFC doesn't have a photo for Pitbull, and it kind of ruins the synergy of my slot. So I'm like, if I'm gonna fuck him up, I'm gonna fuck him up good. Pitbull, the Bellator goat. The UFC finally acquired him. I think it's gonna be exciting, but they have set his ass up to lose here. Oop, spoilers. That was lame as fuck. Pitbull, he's old. He's almost 38. Even his 3-2 record, like in his last 3, he's 1-2. His wins against Jeremy Kennedy, I don't rate that. I don't care about Jeremy Kennedy win, even though he's a fellow Canadian. Fuck that guy. I'm kidding. He's just not very good comparatively. He lost to Chihiro, the champ from Ryzen, who recently lost. I don't like that. Pitbull, from what I've watched, like I haven't watched too much of him. I'm gonna be honest. He doesn't wrestle much, and Yair, like, and I'm gonna say this, and this is gonna be controversial. He was the best striker. He's the best striker at featherweight. He makes Volkanovski grapple him. He makes Holloway grapple him, right? That's how they're winning these fights. Like people aren't out striking him. When he has this juicy height advantage, he's gonna be fine. If I knew that Pitbull was going to shoot takedowns, I might not hate it. But I think Yair's going to be able to stay at distance, use kicks brilliantly, and just kind of outpoint Pitbull, maybe even drop him. My pick's got to be Yair. I just think that his striking is so phenomenal. His kicking game, his speed. He's making Holloway grapple him. Holloway, the guy who fucking knocked out Justin Gaethje, was like, I can't hang with Yair. Volk KO'd him, right? But he did that on the mat. Yair has that huge weakness, but I don't think Patricio will exploit it. And I think Patricio is old. Like, I think the UFC have made this fight where they're like, we're going to put a striker against Yair. So that way, when Pitbull loses, they'll make the PFL tour look worse, right? They're going to look like a shit tier promotion compared to the UFC. It's like, your GOAT just got manhandled by Yair, who's okay, right? That's what they're intending to do. But if Pitbull wins, and I'm not ruling it out, like, this isn't like a total lock for me. I think that if Pitbull wins, like, you have another star. So the UFC's got a win-win, kind of like with MVP, but this fight is engineered for a Yair win. Bryce Mitchell versus John Silva. So you got schizo racist versus autist. And I'm going to say this is a hard fight because if John Silva beats Bryce Mitchell, and quote me here, this is recorded so I can come back in time and look either like an idiot or like the smartest man to ever get born. If he beats Bryce Mitchell, he will be the champion one day. Because John Silva will have passed the wrestling challenge. But that is the issue with this fight. He hasn't passed that test yet. When he has been taken down, or we have seen his grappling get tested, it has looked very good. Now, for all intents and purposes, it's looked pretty serviceable at the UFC. But we haven't seen it get tested by a Bryce Mitchell-like fighter. On the feet is heaven and earth. John Silva smokes Bryce Mitchell like within 2 minutes. But Bryce Mitchell doesn't fuck around. He'll shoot those takedowns. And my pick for this fight is John Silva. I think John Silva on the feet, because you start on the feet, right? I think he will get the takedowns. I think he will always have that danger element, so he's got that chance to win early. And I think I really trust his camp. The thing you see about like the core fighting nerds guys is they fight smart. Like they stay calm. They don't ever like go crazy. Like if there's a finish there, like they don't lose their mind. Like against Charles Jourdain, when Charles Jourdain was shooting takedowns, And I don't. Charles Jourdain, he's not like the goated grappler. Like you don't look at Charles Jourdain and say, "Whoa, that guy! Don't let that guy wrestle you." Like Charles Jourdain has subs, right? He's got good submission game. He's not a good grappler. But Jean Silva, he's strong as shit. He's fast as shit. And I think he's smart. Like he's smarter than he lets on. Like you know when he does like that goofy stuff in the ring and everyone's like, "Oh, why is he doing all that bullshit?" He's doing that because it lowers his opponent's guards. Like when he like, it's not a surprise that he high fives Melsik Bagdasaryan, and then the next thing that happens is he KOs him. That's not a surprise. I think John Silva wins, and I'm gonna say though, very low confidence. Like I think this fight is lined fucking awfully because you know like think about John Anderson Brito last fight. Sometimes you can just get wrestle fucked, and I think John Silva's better than that. I support his corner. I think he's smart. But John Silva, my pick, my love goes out to him. But this is the value of the card to bet on Bryce. The value of the card. If you're a betting man, you're like, man, where's the EV? The EV's on Bryce. But John Silva to win, I hope he wins. And if he does win, he's gonna win the title. Like I think if he wins and he can stuff the takedowns, like he's smoking Volk. If he can stuff the takedowns, he's smoking Diego Lopes. If he can stuff the takedowns, Mosvar dies. Like I'm that high on Jean Silva, but we haven't seen it. And because we haven't seen it, it's closer than you think. But John is the pick. Michael Chandler versus Paddy Pimblett. There's been a lot of interesting things. Like I think a lot of like casuals or like the guys who make the videos but don't about the fights and they do the deeper breakdowns and they're always wrong because they just kind of low-key glaze up the guys who've been there for the long time. They're all picking Michael Chandler. Like, why are you picking Paddy Pimblett? He keeps his chin in the air. And I'm like, you know what? He does. But Michael Chandler's like, I think, the most overrated fighter in the UFC. Like, he's at the lightweight division, and because he fought, like, all the top guys, and he had moments, I think people think that he's better than he is. Like, prior to leaving Bellator, he got smoked by Patricia Pitbull. He lost to Brent Primus. Do you know who the fuck Brent Primus is? I do. And probably a lot of you do if you found this video. Like you're a real MMA nerd like myself. But those aren't great losses. He comes to the UFC, smokes Dan Hooker, and Dan Hooker, I don't really rate Dan Hooker as a top lightweight. And then loses to all the good fighters. Smokes old Tony Ferguson. Loses again against Charles Oliveira the last time. Like he doesn't just lose, he gets embarrassingly dominated. And he almost won the fight via back to the head strikes at the end there. But even when that happened, Charles got his back. Like, when Michael Chandler has the dominance, Charles takes his back. Now, Paddy Pimblett. I'm going to glaze him now. So if you're a Paddy Pimblett hater, I don't know, cry. Cry for me. And tell me in the comments, if you're picking Michael Chandler in the comments, call me slurs, give me interactions. Thank you. Paddy Pimblett, he's a really great grappler. Like, his grappling is incredible. He does miss some of those wrestling things, though. Like, he's a judo toss, jiu-jitsu nerd, takedown kind of guy, which does leave a lot to be liked. But for the division, he's actually very big and strong. 5'10" isn't huge, but he's super muscular. Like, he just is. Like, I don't want to sound like I'm glazing him too much, but he's really big. And he hits hard. Like, if you watch his fight with Bobby Green, right? And Bobby Green, like I'm going to be real here. The fact that Paddy was like a dog for a long time, I had money on him months in advance. Shh, don't tell my parents. But yeah, I had money on him months in advance because he's better. He's got a great jab. Like, he's like strong. Like, when you watch that fight, he's like pushing Bobby Green's head back. And his leg kicks are also very good. Like, his striking, is improving. And against the leg kicks, like, when Bobby Green shoots that takedown, it's actually because his legs got kicked out. Paddy Pimblett was just kicking his legs out, outstriking Bobby Green in like a conventional striking contest. So bad that Bobby's like, I need to, he stumbles into a takedown. It wasn't even he tried to shoot it. Paddy was just kicked his legs out to the extent that it looked like he was shooting a takedown, right? And then Paddy subs him up really quick. I don't think he does Chandler like that, but I think Paddy's just the bigger, stronger, better fighter. I think in the striking, I'm going to say something ridiculous. I think Paddy's could even outstrike Michael Chandler. I think Chandler might try to get some shit going, but Paddy will just kind of keep safe, push that jab out, and win minutes off of Chandler. I am worried about 5 rounds because we haven't seen Paddy go 5 rounds, and when you consider his typical physique, you are worried about his stamina. Um, but I think Chandler's done. And I think they've given Paddy Pimblett the fight so they can promote. Hold on. Main event. Ilia Topuria, Paddy Pimblett. Winner gets the title shot. Cinema. They've been talking shit about each other for literal years. If you didn't know this, like when they were both coming on, they were two of the hottest prospects, and Ilya is more active, so he kind of shot up the rankings. And Paddy Pimblett had some injuries, and also he's inactive as fuck, which is annoying for a guy who's as fun as he is. Um, but now, I think if he beats Michael Chandler 5-round co-main, I bet you they main event Paddy Pimblett versus Ilia Topuria. That sells gangbusters at the box office. That's my conspiracy theory. They've made this fight so that can happen. Yeah, Paddy Pimblett. I'm gonna say early sub is the most likely, but I don't know. It could be anything in this fight. Now, main event. But before I break it down, like, comment, subscribe. Leave me a hate comment if you don't like me. Just leave something. Like, let me know you're out there. Alright. Now, main event. Alexander Volkanovski versus Diego Lopes. I think a lot of people are writing off. Like, some people are like, Diego Lopes is the worst featherweight title contender in forever. Or some people are like, Volk is old as shit and dying. So, you're seeing, like, very, very mixed reception. But this fight, I think, is very close. If the fight ends in under 2.5, it's Diego Lopes. Easy. If it goes over 2.5, Alexander Volkanovski all day. I'm going to pick, though, for this fight, Alexander Volkanovski. Look, his last 2 fights were stupid as fuck. Like, he's legitimately slow. Like, short notice. Bakashev, I can't blame him, probably especially the bag he got. But then he goes and bounces back against Ilya super short time later off of a nasty KO. Like, what a stupid move for an older fighter. Like, take your time. You're the champ. You're super active. Nobody will blame you. And against Ilya, gets slept, right? But now he's had time to slow down, smell the roses. And I just think Diego Lopes, I think he'll just have a hard time. I think Diego Lopes will be super dangerous off the bat. I think his jabs, like his uppercuts and shit. And he's so much bigger than Volk, right? Like, Diego Lopes is muscular, 5'11" at featherweight. Like, that's big. He's a big lightweight at fighting at featherweight. But, and I think he's going to go after it early. But if Volk survives, and I think he will, because I think Volk is very smart, and I think that Diego Lopes, despite how great he is, and I think he is great, he isn't like crazy. He's like, when you fight Diego Lopes, right? You're never like, oh my god, what is that move? I've never seen that. He's got really good striking and really heavy hitting, and really great jiu-jitsu. But he's not doing shit to you that you've never seen. Right? And he's not like changing his game plan up on the spot. Even though he's a coach, he's not like, you're not like watching him and you're like, what? No way, he switched it up halfway through the fight. He doesn't do that shit, right? I think Volk, probably in the first round, he'll be really, really timid. He's gonna be really scared. And Diego Lopes, I think, is gonna go a little gung-ho. Maybe even rock him. But in that end of the second round, like second half the second round on, I think that jab, you're gonna see that jab get established. You're gonna see that inside low kick. And you see, oh shit, it's Volk. And Volk is going to come back and he's going to look good. And Diego Lopes is going to gas out, late finish, 3rd round on, or decision win for Volkanovski. I'm not overly high on this though, because Diego Lopes, you know what? He just feels like a guy who can get it done. He just feels like the chosen one, per se, right? So Volk is my pick. Medium confidence. That is my video for UFC 314. Before I leave, please subscribe if you want to see what I'm going to say next week for the fights. Actually, no, we have a break. Pause on that. But if you want to see what I say next time, please subscribe. Thank you for watching. And yeah, have a good rest of your day.